Why are you doing this?
Because he's my son.
It's finally happened. It turns out the Starfleet legend who never wanted a family has had one for 20 years. The only problem is, he didn't know it. Thanks to Picard Season 3, we'll be traveling down one road we've never explored with Jean-Luc Picard: fatherhood.
I'm a role model.
But how did this happen? And more importantly, when? The last time we saw Picard and Crusher, there didn't appear to be any shenanigans going on. So how will we connect the events of Picard Season 3 with what happened in the past? And how will this new knowledge impact a man who not only struggles to develop intimate relationships, but whose own words at the beginning of this new season reinforced that he doesn't
Needs a legacy.
Well, like it or not, you have one now, Admiral. Will Jean-Luc be a good dad, or will he be a chip off the old block? And does the ages, years, and math even add up?
Not now, Doctor.
You don't want to miss this episode. And if you haven't already subscribed to our channel, please do so now. And give us a thumbs up if you want more honest pop culture like this. And make sure you stay tuned to the end to see how to get this awesome Captain Picard Day mug from the amazing artists at mixtees.com.
Yes, it's for the children.
Jack Crusher's surprising reveal as Picard and Beverly's son was a huge surprise for the fanbase, but it shouldn't be a huge surprise considering this was the last leaf left unturned for one of the Federation's great captains. And since the whole point of doing a Picard show was to see how much the character has changed over the years, what would happen if Picard had offspring running around the galaxy? Picard's relationship with children is well documented, and let's just say, he's not someone you want to invite over to babysit, unless of course your house is disabled by a quantum filament and you want to give your children a quick lesson in military survival.
The line must be drawn here. This far, no farther.
But that younger version of Picard, who had to suffer through Picard Day as well as rebuff emotional moments with Wesley,
Shut up, Wesley.
will have to take a much closer look in the mirror now that the child he is dealing with is his own progeny. Of course, Jack is a grown man, and he's pretty angry about the whole thing, so it's not like Picard has to placate a small child. He does, however, have to figure out how to address this new information while in the middle of a tense and deadly cat-and-mouse game. How Picard is that?
I see you're having difficulty understanding the situation.
But let's get back to that in a moment. What people really want to know is, how and when did this happen? The last time we saw Picard and Crusher together was during the events of Nemesis, when they were dealing with a whole different type of Picard offspring. But something everyone can agree on is that movie didn't leave you feeling or thinking something was going on with the will they, won't they TNG almost couple. We do learn from the events of the finale of The Next Generation, All Good Things, that in at least one variation of the future, Jean-Luc and Beverly got married.
Then I never could say no to you.
Oh, so that's why you married me.
Although in the potential future we experienced during the finale, it seemed to be a short-lived relationship that didn't produce any offspring.
Yes.
But we all know that that was just one possible future, but the real future we end up in, they do have a son as we see unfolding in the events of Picard Season 3. So without holding a 6th grade health class, how did Jack Crusher end up coming into the world?
Seen that the Howard women have exceptionally vigorous libidos.
Well, it didn't happen on screen for sure, but nothing happened on screen after the events of Nemesis. What we do know from Picard Season 3 is that Beverly has been estranged from her friends for more than 20 years.
I haven't spoken with her for over 20 years.
Why did she cut everyone off?
The current year of Picard Season 3 is 2403. Let's go back to the events of Nemesis and start there. The year that adventure took place was 2379, so 24 years before the events of Picard Season 3. That means the oldest Jack can be is 23. And since Ed Speleers, who plays Jack, is 34 years old... Wait a second. Do we have a problem? Before we break down a possible problem in the age timeline, please help us keep the lights on by listening to a quick message about this video's sponsor, DraftKings Casino. Normally our favorite thing to do without leaving the house is watch Star Trek, but we found something else fun to do, and we've partnered with DraftKings so we could share it with you because they have an awesome deal going on right now. DraftKings Casino is a completely online platform with over 300 real money games, and right now, all new customers who sign up using promo code ThePopcast and make a minimum $5 deposit will get that deposit matched dollar for dollar up to $2,000 in casino bonus funds. That's right, DraftKings is matching all new customers dollar for dollar, and with over 700 slot games for you to choose from, including your favorites, and an assortment of DraftKings exclusives, there are so many ways to have fun. If Casino isn't available yet in your state, check out the DraftKings Daily Fantasy app, where you can win cash prizes all season long. DraftKings is safe, secure, and reliable. You can deposit and withdraw money at your convenience. So head to the DraftKings Casino app right after this video and sign up using promo code ThePopcast and make a deposit of at least $5, and DraftKings will match the deposit dollar for dollar up to $2,000 in casino bonus funds. Have a little fun and give DraftKings Casino a try today.
Of course, we haven't time for that sort of thing.
What sort of thing?
Oh, God, would I love to show you.
There aren't a whole lot of things to complain about during the events of Picard Season 3 because the show has been phenomenal. But some fans have been questioning how a 30-something-year-old actor could be playing a newly minted adult as Picard and Beverly's son. For us, the age question didn't really come into consideration. We're on the north side of 40.
How do you do, fellow kids?
So let's be honest, everyone in their 20s and 30s looks like kids to us. So Speleers could be 24 or 34, and it's probably not going to take us out of the show. But if knowing his age is bugging you, consider a few other actors who played characters much younger than themselves. Jim Parsons, who stole the show in The Big Bang Theory as Sheldon Cooper, was 27 in the pilot, but the actor was 35.
And I already achieved more than most of you could ever hope to, despite my 9 o'clock bedtime.
Orlando Bloom was a fresh-faced 18-year-old as Will Turner in Pirates of the Caribbean, but 26 in real life. And finally, one of the more famous "damn, that dude was old for that role" came from Leonardo DiCaprio, who was 28 years old when he played the 15-year-old version of his character Frank in Catch Me If You Can.
Do you concur?
Concur with what, sir?
The point is, Speleers is a young-looking man who also plays an impetuous, youthful character who to us is very believable as Picard's son. In fact, it's impossible to imagine anyone else now in that role. So hopefully anyone struggling to divorce the character from the actor's age will let themselves be swept away into the story where it just won't matter. Jack's age in Picard Season 3 is important for us to pinpoint where he began. We know he's 23 at the most if, say, Beverly and Jean-Luc had a moment of passion at the end of Star Trek Nemesis. But we believe the inspiration for the love child actually comes from somewhere many good storylines in Star Trek are found: books.
You read the book?
Of course.
Death in Winter, written by Michael Jan Friedman, was published in 2005 and is a Star Trek The Next Generation novel that picks up on the story of Dr. Crusher following the events of Nemesis and explores the romantic relationship between her and Jean-Luc. The idea came from Margaret Clark, a pocketbooks editor who was keen on telling the story resolving Picard and Crusher's relationship, since it was apparent the live-action franchise was unlikely to finish the story. Clark approached Friedman about the idea, and he said, hell yes. Friedman has written more than 40 Star Trek novels, and there is no one more equipped to deal with this story than he. In the book, Crusher transfers off the Enterprise to become the head of Starfleet Medical, which was also a deleted scene from Nemesis and helps bring the movie and book worlds together. In Death in Winter, Beverly transfers but then is immediately sent off on a secret mission beyond the neutral zone. Beverly is captured during the mission by Tasha Yar's half-Romulan daughter Sela, and Picard leads the rescue to save her. In this book, Picard and Beverly finally profess their love to each other. But it wouldn't be until the Star Trek Typhoon Pact books that we would learn of a son, but his name wasn't Jack. The novel version of Picard's son was named after a bunch of people from Jean-Luc's history. René, Jacques, Robert, Francois Picard, say that name 10 times, was born aboard the USS Enterprise E in 2381. And in an alternate future, René was married to Natasha Riker Troy and had 3 kids. Talk about fan service, right? If Jack from Picard Season 3 was inspired by the novelized René, then that would make him 22 years old. The novels included a version of Beverly and Picard that doesn't seem to be what happened in our current on-screen timeline. But in Picard Season 3, you would figure if they had been married, Riker would have had a comment about it when they were talking about Beverly in the bar. If a love affair occurred, it would be interesting to see how showrunner Terry Matalas presents it in upcoming episodes. That said, we do have a lot of questions.
Well, I need answers from you two.
What would make Beverly keep the knowledge that Jean-Luc has a son away from him? And more importantly, how will Picard respond as a father? What do you think? Does Jean-Luc have that loving feeling, or is he a deadbeat dad-to-be? Will he and Beverly have a happily ever after in their twilight years, or will they choose to take turns keeping Jack on alternating weekends? What do you want to see happen? And more importantly, what are your thoughts on Picard Season 3? Let's talk about it in the comments below. And if you enjoyed this video and want to hear more discussions about this topic and others just like it, please join us over at our other channel, the Popcast Unleashed. Also, don't forget our Picard Day mug in our store. Get 20% off your purchase by using coupon code THEPOPCAST. The link is in the description below.
Who is your father?
I never had one!